Back to the journey. So I'm headed to Harrison. I've got to go do a couple grocery shopping, and then I've got to go to Tractor Supply to pick up some feed because I got my cashback card from spending money at Tractor Supply on their credit card. I get 5% cash back, and then they send me a gift card. So I'm going to go spend money there to get some stuff for the animals, and then I also have to fill my propane tank. I've had a bunch of people over the last couple months, and even when I was choosing Arkansas, wondering if Arkansas was the good decision or if Arkansas was a bad decision. Now, Arkansas has got some pros, they got some cons, and today is another one of those cons. But overall, I think I made a great decision. I probably should have went a little bit farther south than where I am now, because I could avoid some of the in the ice. But last night we got down to 26 degrees. We got a little bit frosty. Everything was ice over real bad. Right now we're at 29 degrees and it's raining. So it's not too bad. A lot better than Colorado. My grandmother said that Colorado was going to be down in the negatives. Good afternoon, Ridge Life. How are you doing today? Are you getting all that cold and icy mess over there in Tennessee? Oh, I am. Luckily, we've had rain, and it, like I said, it's up to 29, so a lot of this, the road's all water now. The sun popped out for just a few. So I actually drove on the roads last night. They were a little bit icy last night, but nothing new. Colorado gets icy as well. People say, yeah, you don't have as much ice, but there's a lot of accidents in Colorado due to ice because of the temperature changes so quick. Yeah, Monday's supposed to be our worst. Monday here it's supposed to be, I think, 17 high with a 9-degree low. So that will be the coldest. The coldest I've seen it here so far is 16 degrees since I've been here, and that was in the middle of the night, the one night. But for those of you that keep asking if Arkansas was a bad decision, for me it wasn't a bad decision. Now, yes, there's cons. The cons consist of ticks. I didn't have as many ticks in Colorado. In Colorado, they do have ticks. You shoot a deer, you see all the ticks fall off as the body cools. However, I never had a tick issue because I had so many birds. So once my birds get the ticks out here, I should hopefully be cut down on the ticks, especially with the guineas eating 4,000 ticks a day per guinea hen. Of course, chickens and everything like that. Another con, like I said, is the humidity. We have more moisture here, which that's a double-edged sword. Humidity's, I mean, even with all this, it's only running 70% humidity. So, yes, that's a lot more than Colorado, but that's like a normal rainstorm in Colorado. It hits 70%, sometimes even up to 80%, which a lot of people don't understand with Colorado, how it's not 100% when it rains in Colorado, and that's the difference in the being dry weather compared to wet weather. Mold is another thing out here I learned, like everybody saw when I first got the shed, because I didn't have insulation in it. So things mold a lot easier out here. They rust a lot easier out here. And then, of course, you don't have snow, you have ice. And then when the ice melts, you have mud. In my case, the mud works for me. The ice works for me. Because ice, I don't have to go out in the ice if I don't want to. Except feed the animals, which, like I said, I'll get a pair of those cleats to throw on the bottom of my shoes for when it's really, really icy. I haven't tripped or fell or anything like that going back and forth to the animals because the ground has all the hoof prints in it, and the clay hardens and gives you traction. So I haven't had any issues on the property. But if I go out, I could see an issue. The mud part, that doesn't give me a problem either because I want to do nothing but seeding on the homestead. So a bunch of mud is good because the seed will get underneath the dirt, which means I don't have to rake it in, I don't have to drill the seed, I don't have to do anything. I can just broadcast the seed, the mud moves around, the animals stomp it in the ground, and then when they move to the next pen, that's going to give me better germination than just sitting on top of dry ground in Colorado like I had, where nothing really popped up with the lack of moisture. The tick thing, the humidity thing, the rust and mold. The rust and mold, you know, that's totally different to me. I'm not used to tools rusting. The mold, never had mold in Colorado, didn't have to worry about that. So I learned out here, when I build a house, any type of insulation I do, I'm gonna pay the extra money to do the foam spray insulation versus fiberglass or rock wool, so that way it's completely sealed, no way of moisture getting in and out of the spray foam, and that will cut down on the mold. For those of you that have been asking about the house, you know what I'm thinking about Arkansas, because Arkansas has tornadoes where Colorado doesn't. That's not true. Colorado has tornadoes. When I lived on the south side of Cotopaxi, there was actually a tornado at Lake Deweese, which was only like 6 miles from me. So, I mean, tornadoes, wildfires, storms, everything happens pretty much anywhere you're gonna go. You can only do what you can where you are, and only survive whatever's survivable. I mean, if a meteor hits the planet, you can't do nothing. If more aliens like me invade the planet, what you gonna do? Not go nowhere. Except Elon's trying to get to Mars. He's trying to bring all my relatives back here to this planet. But overall, Arkansas, in my mind, is a great choice. I'm glad I didn't choose upstate New York. For those of you that knew, I was looking at upstate New York, had a bunch of offers that I put in get accepted in New York, and I went ahead and turned them down because I didn't want to move to upstate New York. I wanted to get away from the snow, the cold, which, like I said, I could have went a little farther south and not dealt with the cold up here. But then if you go where there's no cold, like Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, then you get into extremely hot summers, 100% summer, 100% humidity summers, and it just not for me. So I like the medium. I came out here in July. It was hot, it was humid. Everybody saw I did not get a lot of fencing done because I was not used to 30, 40, 50% humidity, 100% when it was pouring down rain for days on end. Where Colorado, like I said, is normally 0% during the summer. That's why it's so dry. But it's just, I've been here July, it was hot. I was here for fall. We saw all the leaves change in the ride-alongs and the side-by-side. I'm really excited for spring. Winter, this is our winter. Everybody says we only have a few weeks left because March normally starts everything sprouting and good weather. We normally don't get below freezing into March, so it's normally December, January, February. So that's nice versus Colorado, where we have snow sometimes as early as August and as late as June. So growing seasons, once again, is just crazy, the difference out here. The bamboo I was looking at putting in Colorado to help feed the animals, Bassetti bamboo, would grow 6 foot at my elevation in zone 4A planting zone in Colorado, where I was at up in the mountains. Out here, the same bamboo, they say, will grow 34 feet, 34 to 35 feet. So I mean, just the difference in what I'm able to grow versus Colorado. So there's so many positives for me for Arkansas versus Colorado, let alone the community, the people. Like I said, Colorado's not all bad. A lot of people want to be in Colorado. If you want to be in Colorado, I love the weather. But now that I know the price difference, the cost of living difference, I would never live back in Colorado. I for a little bit when I first got here, I'm like, oh, I could probably find a different place in Colorado. But then the price difference, cost of living, threw that out the window, because dry weather is so nice compared to wet. But then I start running all the numbers. You know, I'll say $35,000 a year living here in Arkansas versus Colorado. Like I said, the sticker on my truck that I'm driving right now, $400 in Colorado. The sticker on the license plate every year here in Arkansas, $35. 50-pound bag of sweet feed in Colorado, $10 and some change with tax. Out here, it's $7 and some change with some tax. Property tax, $1,000 a year for 50 acres in Colorado, $151 for 120 acres here in Arkansas. It can't match. So just having the weather does not make that big of a difference to make me want to be in Colorado or any other state west of me, because any state west of me, you can't just build random ponds, you can't collect rainwater in most of those states. In Colorado, for those of you that don't know, was illegal for a while until I think like 4 years ago. Then they changed it. You can collect 55 gallons of rainwater. They also had a rain collection tax. So for every square inch of your roof, you had to pay taxes on rainwater that hit your roof. It's just a nightmare, a mess. So I'm in Arkansas. I'm loving Arkansas. I hope everybody sees this video that has been asking, sending me messages and stuff, if Arkansas really is a good place, because now I'm starting to get everybody that was moving to Colorado as my subscribers to now they want to move to Arkansas. And they want to know straight up from the horse's mouth, from the alien's mouth, if Arkansas is truly what it is. And for those of you, I know I had some subscribers harp to me, you know, I talked good about Colorado and everything. And I did. I talked good about Colorado. I still will say good things about Colorado, but I see a different mind perspective from Arkansas to Colorado cost of living. Not to mention, when I moved to the ranch, I had non-stop problems in Fremont County. So everybody was warned about the neighbors that I was dealing with. Well, in the south side Cotopaxi, it was nice, but then you got to deal with people breaking in, druggies. There was 4 murders over by my place before I moved. So there's pros and cons to everywhere you go. So that's what you want to do. You want to dive in. You want to look at financials of areas. You want to look at cost of living. You want to look at property taxes, sales tax. My boomer from Massachusetts that's looking at moving here, he was going to follow me to Colorado. Now he's going to follow me here to Arkansas, or so he says. He never moved to Colorado, and he still ain't here in Arkansas. But he was shocked that the sales tax here in Arkansas, in my county, is 10%. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, wow, sales tax, 10%. What you got to understand, Colorado and Fremont County is 8.9% sales tax. So I bumped up 1%. Gas out here is 50 to 60 cents cheaper than Fremont County. So just there, all the gas I spend, all the driving I do, running generators and everything like that, makes up for the difference in sales tax, let alone property tax saving, you know, $800 some a year, and truck tags and everything else. So dive into what you're looking at. If you do move to Arkansas, please don't bring bad mentality here. The people are so nice here. I don't want to have that type of mentality moving into this area, and the people here don't want that type of mentality moving into this area. And they are open arms in my area as long as you have a job or have a way of income. You're not a drug dealer, you're not a drug user, and you're not lazy, and final, you live by your word, you do what you say. If you're not, then the community does move against those type of people, and they do try to rid the area of those type of people. So if you got mindsets of trying to change things, bringing in paved roads on dirt roads and street lights on country roads, and saying somebody can't own a cow and things like that, that does not fly out here. And that's like everybody's been telling me out here they want me to open a petting zoo, which I will not do that again after the headaches of Colorado. And I understand the people out here aren't going to be like the people in Colorado, and I've had sheriff and post office people, and I mean just everybody in the community reaching out to me, and they really want me to make something, because that would also bring a big tourist thing here to St. Joe, Arkansas, which would bring in more business. But I just don't want to go down that road again. Not only was there a bunch of drama and issues like everybody saw in Colorado, but you know, I got to the point where I had people come in at all hours, even with my chain that I put across the gate to shut my property off. People would open the chain and come up because they'd be like, oh, I thought we could just come in, and stuff like that. So I like it how I have it set now, where people can come, they can drive along the fence, they can see the animals. I had no problem with that. So that way, at least the community gets something out of me being here. Gives their kids something to experience that they haven't experienced before, and be part of the journey. And it's amazing the followers I already have here in Arkansas. I've already gone a couple places, and I don't take Rex to a lot of places anymore because he's so big. I've taken him out, I believe, 3 times since I moved here to Arkansas. And just in those 3 times, I mean, just the presence of everybody starting to know who I am, or they're watching my YouTube channel now. And it's a great community out here. And I hope wherever you move, I didn't think of that. You know, I figured wherever I was going to move, I was either going to have a good community or a bad community. I didn't know how to find out if they're good or bad, but I found a really good one. And I would go on YouTube, like you're watching this video, if you're looking at moving, and watch YouTubers like me talking about a different area, and find those good communities and go to those communities, because there's nothing better than helping out to a community that shows love, compassion, and support for you. I mean, people have offered to come help put up fence, help feed the animals when I was taking trips back and forth to Colorado. My neighbors are just amazing. The gas station's amazing. Amazing food. You saw they decorated for the holidays. I'm very, very happy. Very, very blessed for those of you on the religious front. That always tells me I need to say that I'm blessed. So there, I said it for once, that I'm blessed, even though us aliens don't believe that. But it is what it is. Let's see. Robert says, right one, man, that is awesome. You found you a great place. Yes, Robert, it is an amazing place. St. Joe, Arkansas is where I moved. For those of you that want to know, that don't know, the new subscribers out there. I'm traveling through Newton County and going up to Boone County, which is Harrison, Arkansas. These are the 3 counties. I'm in Searcy County. There is a Searcy, Arkansas. That's not where I live. I'm in St. Joe, but Searcy County. I'm in the northwest corner of Arkansas. And these 3 counties, everywhere I go, people are nice. Another downfall is the slowness. Nobody's in a rush to do anything, rush to get anything done, where that's me. I want to get things accomplished, but I'll get there. I've got another 166 years or something like that to go to hit 200, so I'll get there eventually. And you can see right back here, I got my new window put in. I had the slider window, since I never used that. I had them rip all that out, and I had one solid window put in the back. And now with the one solid window, I gotta find a printing place out here. I'll get decals made up for my back window as advertisement, like I had the small little logo on the middle window, but be able to advertise as a big window and do a big decal. And somebody just said, Robert said, I go to southern Missouri, Somerville, great people around there. Well, there you go. For those of you that are looking for another place, not in Arkansas, southern Missouri, in Somersville, they have great people. So if you live in a great community, in a great place, in whatever state you are, Colorado, Alaska, New York, Maine, comment on here so other homesteaders and everybody following that are looking at moving to different places can know what areas to look into. So if it's a great community, say it's a great community, say the city, the town, the county, and then everybody can look at those comments and go and do your own investigation on, like I said, gas price, property tax, sales tax, jobs, what jobs pay. Here in Harrison that I'm coming into now, there's jobs here, they're starting out $15 an hour. Minimum wage here in Arkansas, I think, is still like $7.90 or something. But a lot of places here, Pace, I remember that's the name of it. Pace out here is doing it. I think it's some type of not the trucking Pace, but I think it's some type of warehousing or something like that, assembly line, something like that. They have a lot of that here in Arkansas as well. Hello, Michael. Hope you're doing good out there in Ohio. And now that I'm coming into Harrison, I'm about a mile away from Tractor Supply, so I'm gonna let everybody go, get my shopping done, and I've got to go cook dinner tonight. I'm hanging out with somebody here in Arkansas, so I'm doing dinner and a movie tonight. And Arkansas just keeps getting better and better and better. People are friendly. That's all I can say for those of you that are thinking that Arkansas might not be as good, like I talk good about Colorado. So Colorado is good in certain places. Arkansas is good in certain places. Every state is good in certain places. Hey, you just got home from Tractor Supply. And you didn't pick up what I needed. See? I could have saved myself a trip if you would have just got it from me, Michael. So, with that, I hope everybody has a great day. Enjoy. It is raining here, as you can see, in Harrison. And I will see you guys on the next video.